Tuesday at the Players, bright, sunny, perfect in Ponte Vedra Beach. Every year, this magnificent stadium course testing the best in the world. Excitement and drama from start to finish. The winner here will truly have to run the gauntlet.
In full flight, the best players in the world make a hard game look easy.
Johnny, that's better than most.
Did he?
But make no mistake, it's tougher than ever to win on the PGA Tour.
Another win for Dustin Johnson.
With more fearless young lions,
Latest 59.
more international standouts, more finely tuned swings. Looking for any edge, an extra 5 yards, a half shot around, a little better focus.
Jason Day, 2016 Players Champion.
All preparing for that moment when the sport gets really difficult.
Just unbelievable to watch it unravel.
When they're in the hunt right here. When they need to hit the perfect shot to number 16. When they need to just be steady at 17.
Take that 17, huh?
When they need to finish the job at 18.
Great drive here.
It's not easy to win on tour.
Wire champion.
And it's certainly not easy to win here.
Ricky Fowler owns the island green.
At the Players.
Golf Central proudly presents Live from the Players. Coverage presented by TaylorMade and Orkin.
Dustin Johnson arriving at TPC Sawgrass as the unquestioned #1 player in the world. How about his last 5 starts? Third, first, and second this past weekend in North Carolina. Never better than 28th here at the Players. Figures to change as well as he's been playing. How about Rory McIlroy making his first start with a new club contract with TaylorMade? More on that in a moment. And a new ring on his left hand, recently married. Congrats. Rory in a good place, and he's at a spot where he's played well, just hasn't yet won the championship. Jason Day did just that a year ago, trying to become the first to successfully defend. Kind of hard to believe. Never been done going back to 1982. Best title defense, tied for 5th by Tom Kite, 1990. Hal Sutton, 2001. That's one of those oddities. A Grammy Award-nominated singer-songwriter Sam Hunt performing right now for this year's Military Appreciation Day over at 17, along with his own hits, written songs for artists including Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, Reba McEntire, songs like Take Your Time and Leave the Night On. We hope you leave us on as the night moves along. And hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner, pleased as always to be alongside Brandel Chambly, Frank Nobilo, and the 99 Players champ David Duval. And Brandel sitting here on these director's chairs like the dating game. Remember Jim Lang? And here they are in the comedy surfing and snowboarding.
I'd like to say I'm not old enough to remember that, but yes, I do. I used to sit there and think, how could those people go on air and make such fools of themselves every night? Now then, I do it every single night. But along the lines of a dating game, I don't think there's anybody that looks at this golf course and thinks, yeah, it's a perfect match. This golf course has done more for sports psychology than any other golf course that I can think about. It gets in players' heads, doesn't it?
Are you saying that nobody's in love with this golf course? We're going to get the dating thing? I got to agree. We know the course is in great condition. I was here nearly a week ago, and they could have started then. And I always think that's the litmus test for a golf course. If you can have an event, they used to say that about Shinnecock, you could have a US Open there at any day of the year. So when you see this golf course ready a week out, and the players have already sort of spoke glowingly about the changes to the golf course. We know we have a new hole. We know it's a great championship, and in the end, I guess, David, now we just want it to start.
Well, yeah, that's the problem, sitting around waiting, anticipating what is going to happen, speculating as to who's going to play well, how the 12th hole is going to be received, what they're going to do on that, how many balls in the water on 17, all the fun things. No, you know, maybe 4 or 5, right? But you look around as you make your way around this golf course, look at the clubhouse behind us, look at the practice area, how everything's flowing together, how you can see that much further around the grounds. You really start to understand the scale of this event and truly how major it is, because it truly is.
And you spoke to a number of players today. What are they saying? Oh,
they're just over the moon. The golf course is absolutely perfect. It's funny to hear the players, because a couple of people, somebody I spoke with the PGA Tour a few days ago, said that they're happy with it's like 95% just right. Not quite, you know, but that's who you want leading the charge, saying it's not quite perfect when the players say it is. And that's just a remarkable thing for the players. And come to this championship in this venue with the redo and see it like this, everybody's excited to be out there. Yeah, this is a day when a tour pro can look around and feel pride in his league, because this belongs to the players. And when the news broke as well today that a critically important corporate partner also felt the same way, this league is really good and worth investing in, well, then we're off to a really good start this week. With more on that, let's go down to Todd Lewis. Todd?
Hi there, Rich. FedEx's relationship with the PGA Tour started in 1985 when the company became the title sponsor of the FedEx St. Jude Classic, a relationship that FedEx still has today with that tournament in Memphis. In 2007, FedEx became the title sponsor of the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. And today, FedEx anteed up even more, extending its title sponsorship of the FedEx Cup by 10 years. Also, with the agreement, FedEx will donate $1 million annually to nonprofit organizations. Today, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan proudly made the announcement here at the stadium course on our sister network, CNBC.
Today's a milestone day for the PGA Tour and the game of golf. Our great friends at FedEx, who we've been in business with since 1985, are extending their commitment of the FedEx Cup through 2027. We launched the FedEx Cup in 2007, season-long competition, really bolstering all of our tournaments, culminating in 4 playoff events, bringing a dramatic conclusion. When we launched it, there were some skeptics at the outset, made some adjustment in the early years, but 10 years later, you look at the list of champions, you look at the moments that have been created, and today really is a testament to our players. To have a company, a world-class company, one of the best companies on the planet, make this length of a commitment for and to our players is something that we're very proud of. Our players are relatable, they're purposeful, they're global. That's everything. Those are all the values that FedEx represents. And like you said, today is a historic day, and this is the largest partnership in golf history.
A little more than 10 years ago, players welcomed the FedEx Cup, but now they see it as a must-have on their resume because it measures greatness. And with that news today, those players had rave reviews.
It's great. I mean, I think it's brought another dimension to the PGA Tour. I think, it's really gained traction. People are excited about it. And, I can, speak that it's, it really depends what you do. It makes that last bit of the season after the major championship so important and so exciting, because you're going into the FedEx, the playoffs last year, I was, outside even getting into the Tour Championship. And then, 4 weeks later, I'm holding the trophy.
It's very important to me. It's, the FedEx Cup playoffs is, it's the end of the year. It's, it's the biggest stage, on the PGA Tour. And, it's something that I strive to win. It's very important, throughout the year, too. It makes where every tournament counts. And so, and it makes for an exciting finish.
It's been 10 already, which is amazing. That's gone quick. And, it's good to see that continue. It's been a huge investment from FedEx, and fantastic that they find it valuable to them, and obviously it's great for us and the tour. Everyone's kind of grasped the concept of the FedEx Cup and playoff golf now, and it looks like that's going to be the way moving forward. So another 10 years will just about see me off into retirement.
Well, Rich, the very first FedEx Cup champion, Tiger Woods in 2007, the last FedEx Cup champion, Rory McIlroy, and now with this announcement today, we have 10 more years of possible great players once again holding up that trophy in the fall.
Todd, thanks very much. These are professional golfers. While they play for the love of the sport, they do play to get paid. You can get paid in a huge way here. That $10 million bonus to the winner, $35 million in all, each FedEx Cup playoff series each year. 4 playoff events ending with a tour championship at East Lake. Todd mentioned Tiger back when he was Tiger we knew and loved. 07, and Rory in that thriller late last year. Tiger's the only 2-time FedEx Cup champion. The playoffs debuted August of 07 at Westchester Country Club in New York with the Northern Trust, as it's called now. Steve Stricker earning his 4th career PGA Tour win. He went on to finish 2nd in the FedEx Cup 2. Go back to Tiger. He followed a win, the BMW Championship at Cog Hill with, how's this, a neat little 8-stroke romp at East Lake in that Tour Championship. So he's first ever FedEx Cup champion. He won 7 times in 16 starts in that remarkable 07 season. 2 years later, 2009, Phil won the Tour Championship. This was kind of a great moment. Remember that introduction when the long list of Tiger's accomplishments, and Phil said, all right, enough, we get it. That was the last time one person won the Tour Championship while someone else won the FedEx Cup. Love this moment. In the rain, backwards ball cap. That shows you just how much it means to these guys. Win the season-long race. Dirk also won the Valspar at Innisbrook and the RBC Heritage at Harbortown that year. It's another sort of signature, indelible moment from the FedEx Cup playoff. Bill Haas in 2011 beating Hunter Mahan, the extra session. And then Jordan Spieth. Remember, this was when people were questioning whether Jordan was, in fact, the best player in the world. Jason Day was red hot at that time. And Spieth made an emphatic statement. 2015. Rory last year. This is a great one. Looks like the Ryder Cup, doesn't it? Yeah, he wanted it, and he nailed it. So, David, this is really a nice start to the Jay Monahan era as the new commissioner. Obviously, you tip your cap to Tim Fincham for setting the table, but this is a big moment for the Tour to extend this by 10 years.
It's a huge thing for Jay Monahan, the PGA Tour, the players, everybody involved. And granted, we've talked about that when it first started, we're not quite sure how it would be received, how it was going to work, how the points would actually spread out and be based. And they made the necessary tweaks as it progressed, and they had that pliability in their system to recognize that it's not going to be perfect when you start, but let's make it as perfect as we can as the years progress. And, you know, I've been fortunate a number of years. My longtime partner out at AT&T is Mike Glenn, who just retired from FedEx. And, you know, as we've talked through the years, he said that they've really been thrilled with the reception, how it's gone, how it's been received, how the players embraced it, how they really get amped up for it. You can see that Rory McIlroy, his reaction, it turned his year into a really great year last year by winning the FedEx Cup, and that's exactly what you want in professional golf, ending off the kind of bulk of the season.
Frank, as David mentioned, there was a healthy bit of skepticism in the early years. It was too confusing for a lot of people with the points. Why did it ultimately work?
I think that's the question that everybody was asking, not just us at the time. In some respects, it mirrored FedEx themselves. Remember when Frederick Smith at Yale wrote that thesis, which was basically overnight delivery in 1965. It's like, this will never work. 10 years later, obviously he started FedEx himself, but 10 years later, FedEx released their first ever profits, so it took 10 years. And so taking a concept that somebody believed in, just even one person, and then allowing it to be malleable and be tweaked. And it had tons of naysayers. I remember the first couple of years, we all poked holes in why it wouldn't work. And they actually allowed us to. And I think that's one of the things they were welcome. They said, we want this to work. We realize it has faults. And then eventually, if you allow people to pick in it, we will get something to it. We will get closer to a better product. So in the end, 10 years, just like FedEx, they've more than revealed a profit. They've actually guaranteed the next 10 years, which I think right now in golf, Brandel, is absolutely essential for the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's achieved all the objectives of the PGA Tour. I don't know how they could be any happier. You know, getting the best players to buy into it was paramount, and they certainly did that. Phil Mickelson, pretty late in his career in 2006, played 19 events. In 2007, the first year of the FedEx Cup, he played 22. 10 years later, 2016, he's still playing 22 events. Same is true with Tiger Woods. He played 15 events in 2006. 2007, he played 16. And then, fighting injuries in 2012, he played 20 events. And the same is true of other stars. The big stars bought into it. They played late. I used to joke that the PGA Tour sort of came to a fizzling finish. You never quite knew when it was over. It was like a Luther Vandross song. You were like, is it over? Wait a minute, I don't know. Is it over? And now it ends with an emphatic finish. Climatic, you know, who could top what Rory McIlroy did last year?
Exactly.
Except for Bill Haas, you know, except for Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson.
Remember how it used to end, though? The thinking was, after the PGA Championship, the final major, it's off to football season. So the Tour is, I think, to be given a lot of credit because it was bold. They put some juice into a time of year that had been lacking. And I think the other point to consider here is that this is owned by the PGA. This is their entity, and the four majors do not, from a business standpoint, belong to the PGA Tour. This one does. They're trying to push this forward, and the playoffs do.
The other reason why you know you've got it right is it gets copied. The race for Dubai in Europe mirrors the FedEx Cup.
Best players together, you get like 1, 2, and 3 in the FedEx Cup points, playing in that first, second event of those playoffs in big cities at a time of year when historically people had moved away from professional golf, not anymore. That's a nice crowd out there to see Sam Hunt. Military Appreciation Day. Military Appreciation Day. It is absolutely gorgeous out here at the stadium course.
As we move along, live from the Players, a talking tree, yes, a talking tree, and a wise one at that.
Yes, I count my blessings every time I think of all the things I've witnessed over the years.
Rory and Rory discussing their chances.
Maybe they're really old. All these wrinkles around my eyes. Looks like I've been on tour 2 decades, not one.
Also, 6-hole tournaments. To what length should golf go to attract younger fans? And Sergio Garcia opens up with Frank after his green jacket breakthrough.
I knew that I had to do something because he wasn't going to back up.
All that coming your way, live from the Players.